fourth grade wonders. Today we are working on lesson 9.16, the chapter 9 review. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do the first problem in each section so that you have an idea of what you're supposed to be doing. Now when you've completed this review, if you have any problems or any questions and need any help, I will expect you to Zoom me in the afternoon time. Just send me a little email, a little message on Edmodo or an email, and make a little appointment with me so that we can get the help that you need before you have to take the test on Friday. So if you look at your chapter 9 review, the first section is write the fraction for the shaded part in simplest form. Okay, simplest form is going to be the key there, and you're going to see some little question marks to remind you to get that simplest form, because I will be taking points off if it's not in simplest form. So let's look at number 1. The total parts, which is going to be our bottom number, is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So our denominator is 8. But how many parts are shaded, which is always our top number, our numerator. So then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our fraction is 6/8, but we have to think, is it in simplest form? So what you're going to have to do is see the common factors for each of these, the numerator and the denominator. Common factor for 6, let's do 1 and 6, and we know 2 and 3, 8, 1 and 8, and 2 and 4. Common factor is a 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Your final answer is 3/4. All right, next section, number 7. Compare the fractions, right? Less than, greater than, or equal. Well, what you want to remember is the fewer the parts, the greater the size of each part. So this has 4 parts equally, but only one part here, which is in this picture. I like to draw little pictures and do that to help yourself. So you can tell me very easily which one is bigger just by looking at pictures. So draw pictures if that helps you. But always remember this number at the bottom. The bigger the number is at the bottom, the smaller the piece. So in this case, 1/4 is less than. So that means the point goes to the small fraction, and the open mouth, or the alligator, or the bird, whatever you learned, is 3/4. So 1/4 is less than 3/4. Number 13 is put the fraction in simplest form, just like we did up here. What are the factors of 1 and 4? 1, 2, and 4. What are the factors of 12? 1, 12, 2, 6, 3 times 4. Oh, there's our common factor, 4 and 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3. And obviously we're doing simplest form, so we don't need that little question mark. The answer is 1/3. Number 17, we're moving on. Find the number. 2/6 of 24. Well, if you remember, we do this little thing here where here we divide. Okay, so 24 divided by 6 is 4, and then we times it up here. 4 times 2 is 8. So I hope you remember that. If you don't, go back to the section for this lesson. Number 21, solve. Write the sum or difference in simplest form. Please read the directions. Simplest form is so important. Look at our fractions, numerator, denominator. Here, the denominator is the same, so we just get to add. 3/7 and 2/7 is 5/7. And then we add our whole numbers. 4 plus 1 is 5. Oops. Had some white out there, so I got stuck. 5/7. I already knew that it was in simplest form, so I didn't put the question mark, but always do that for yourself. 5 and 5/7 is simplest form, and there's your answer. Number 25. Now this section you'll need to read very carefully because it says write the sum or difference. That means you're adding or you're subtracting, so pay attention very closely to the sign. We have 2/3 minus 4/9. Well, how can we do 2 minus 4? How can we do 3 minus 9? We can't. We have to find the common factor. So well, we know 3 is a multiple of 9. So I'm going to multiply this by 3. I'm going to multiply this by 3. And I'm going to leave this a 9. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. So now my denominators are the same because I don't have to do anything to this one. And I have 6/9 minus 4/9, which equals 2/9. And guess what? Here's my reminder for simplest form. 2/9 is already in simplest form, so you don't have to do anything else. That's your final answer. Number 31, I'm going to just do another problem in this section. I'm going to do an adding one, and it's 3/4 and 1/8. Once again, I need the denominator to be common, to be the same. So 4 I know is a multiple of 8. So I'm going to multiply by 2. I'm going to multiply by 2 here. So my new fraction is going to be 6/8 plus 1/8. 6 plus 1 is 7/8. And yes, that is in simplest form because we can't divide anything into 7 or 8. All right, last couple sections here. Use the spinner to find the probability of landing in each given vehicle. Well, you see some little vehicles in the spinner. And what you're going to be doing is looking for the car. Well, how many times do we see the car? How many? Let's look at how many times we have total. So a car, let's do car. We'll start at the car. We'll go around clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's going to be out of 8 chances, I see the car 2 times. So then our fraction is going to be 2/8, or we know that should be reduced to simplest form. 2 into 2 is 1. 8 into 2 is 4. 1/4 is our answer. And lastly, number 41, you're going to be making a circle graph discussing the kinds of rocks that Kelsey and her friends find on their walk. So go ahead and make your circle graph just like we did yesterday. And I'm going to let you do that part on your own. So make a whole circle and divide it into the parts that the problem asks you to. Again, boys and girls, if you don't understand this, ask your parents for help, but please don't hesitate to contact me on Zoom this afternoon for me to give you any extra help before you take the test on Friday. All right, do a great job, focus, and redirections. Thank you.